Hey Internet, RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, I just hit 2 years, the 2-year mark with Bank of America and being a Platinum Honors member. And with the relationship bank topic being brought up in the news again with the demise of Smartly, I thought it was, in fact, a good time to revisit Bank of America Platinum Honors preferred rewards and see if it actually is a good deal for you to consider if you're looking for some extra rewards earnings. Of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and press the subscribe button and let's get to work. Now, a few things here, to note. First of all, we have a whole playlist about Bank of America where I've broken down what preferred rewards is, and then of course my journey to get to it, how the programs I stack together, and then my year 1 review. And this is going to be a year 2 review. They did just send me another email saying congratulations on 2 years being Platinum Honors, and so I will do a brief explainer of that if you haven't seen those. But again, the gist of it is I wasn't really going to do this because in some level the opinion hasn't changed much. But we can see my uses for it and what I'm planning to do with it going forward. And since we did see US Bank try to do their own version of relationship banking with the Smartly program that I am still a part of, and that failed for them. So a quick recap on Smartly's, it was a 4% credit card if you had 100 grand with them. So if you got in soon enough, you were grandfathered in, it still works. If not, then they still offer the program, but now it's $100,000 in the checking account, which makes no sense at all. There are other tiers, but obviously we just want the 4%. So the program no longer makes sense. But if the relationship bank topic is now front of mind and you're like, hey, should I consider Bank of America since I missed out on US Bank? Well, that's what this video is for. So there's the backstory. So the Cliff Notes version on Bank of America. Bank of America is what I would call now one of the only actual relationship banks. A lot of banks say their relationship bank means they just want your money. Bank of America says, if you give me more money, I will give you more stuff. It's a relationship, right? And so they call it preferred rewards. Our preferred members get preferred rewards. And it's based on tiers that you get. So I'll put the tiers up for you really quick. But again, the gold tier is $20,000 with them. Platinum tier is $50,000. Platinum Honors, which is where I'm at, is $100,000, and Diamond is $1 million. Diamond, there's really not as much as you'd think at Diamond, so I'm going to talk about Platinum Honors because that's obviously the one you want. That's where I'm at. So people do this primarily through retirement accounts. I have an IRA, a Roth IRA with Bank of America or Merrill Lynch. That's got $107,000 in it. You are required to keep a checking account open with them, so I leave like $10 in that thing. But it does take a total of your deposit account, so it could be CDs, savings, things like that. I had split off other half of my retirement deal to go to US Bank to do the 100, so it's basically 100 here and 100 there. But that's normally how people do it. Again, more details down below or in the other videos, the playlist on the main page for Bank of America. So once you do that, you are entitled to other benefits, better pricing on some products, and the credit cards, better rewards. So if you take a look at this, again, the Platinum Honors tier, this is what you get. You can see the main ones we want is credit cards. Now you do have to be careful of the math. It's not like it's 75% boost, but like how you do the math matters. Like I'll show you the credit cards math, but no fees on banking services. Some of this stuff I'm just not going to count, but the main thing we're here for credit cards. So again, as we said, I have the IRA with them. I have the checking account, and then I have a few keeper cards with them. So I had the unlimited cash. I now have 3 customized cash cards. So one was unlimited cash. I have a customized cash, and I have a Susan G. Komen, which is basically customized cash card as well. So the long story short is, as far as the credit cards, yes, I 100% think it was worth it. The reason being is you have to put your retirement. Everyone should have an IRA, right? Be doing that $7,000 a year. Hopefully it goes up, but for the last 2 years, it's been your $7,000 yearly contribution that you can make either straight to the Roth or do a backdoor if you have to, what have you, right? So you have to have that money somewhere. And unless you're like an aggressive trader and doing stuff, then, you probably don't care too much about the user interface and things like that. So you might as well put it somewhere. Since I get something at Bank of America, I don't get anything for putting it at putting it for Wells Fargo or any of those guys, so I'd put it with Bank of America for the credit cards. And so it makes, when I had the unlimited cash card, it was 2.62%. The customized cash, the top quarter is 5.25%. Top category you pick is 5.25%, which is very helpful as well. So we take a look at this. These cards have basically become my top some of my top cashback earning cards. This is my whole list for last year and what I earned. And you can see right there, 3, 4, and 5. One of them, sure, the Susan G had a $200 intro offer, but you can see what I earned on them. And the unlimited cash was almost $1,600, 787, and then 484 respectively. If you go down the list and you were to remove intro offers from a lot of these cards, like the highest earning one is like the Platinum, but that had a $2,000 intro offer. Then followed by the Business Power card, but that was also an intro offer. So you can see, despite having all these other cards, if you take out the intro offers, these were my highest earning cards by a long shot. And these continue to be the cards that I use the most. Really, I did a video a while back talking about the cards I use the most, because there was a time where it was all Chase cards, but now my most used cards are my 3 Bank of America cards, probably the Chase Amazon card, like the AAA Daily Advantage. Of course, Smartly now I'm grandfathered in, but for that reason, I do think it's worth it. If you had to put the money somewhere. Now, again, my path through Bank of America somewhat changed slightly. Of course, once I got the Smartly card at 4%, I product changed the unlimited cash to my second customized cash. Technically 3 if you want to count the Susan G Como, which I do. So I use one for online, like I would say internet, so website hosting that you pay for monthly, or your domain. I run ads for the channel, like that one's just like YouTube online is what I would call that one. And I use a second one for actually online shopping, buying things online. And then the third one I go in and out of, like I kind of use it as my travel card because I don't really have a good travel, but I'll also switch it to home improvement and things like that. And the benefit of the cards is that no one else really does, is that you can change the category within the quarter. So like the Cash Plus card, once you picked, and it doesn't change. You don't get an opportunity to change till the next quarter. Bank of America, so that one, the Susan G Komen that I run through travel, then I might switch to home improvement. You can change it, at least from what I can tell, once a month, which is hugely helpful, especially for like a utility player card like that, where it doesn't always need to be for Lowe's. It doesn't always need to be for travel, but it's helpful to be switched back and forth with a little bit of planning. It helps. So overall, the cards have been the highlight. That's what I wanted. That has worked out. It's worked out a lot better than I thought. I thought they would just be some nice extra 5% cards as I try to get 5% on everything. But they turn out, as you've seen, to be some of my most used cashback cards. So much so that, I don't have to go buy gift cards anymore. I've got 5 Freedom cards, but I don't really use them anymore. I use them sometimes, but not often, right? Those cards and the City custom cash cards are really the ones I'm after now. So the things you should still be aware of, I'm not really, if you take a look at the product pricing, as I said, I haven't really messed around with any of their other pricing. I'm not going to give you credit for no banking fee, like making the checking account fee free. I know none of the top banks have free checking accounts, but you can find a free checking account in enough places. Like I'm not going to do that. So, banking services, no monthly maintenance fees and accounts. The other stuff, I'm going to guess that if you looked around enough, you could find better pricing, like auto loan pricing. If you go to your credit union, you'll probably do better than any bank. Mortgage, when I worked at Quicken Loans, you could have $500 off of closing any day of the week you wanted. That was our lowest offer. So not really going to help. Priority service, I did have to call in a few times. I didn't feel that I got priority service in any way. They were very nice, and I used thank you for being preferred rewards, but I didn't think it was I called the number on the back of the card. Maybe I should have called this number, but I didn't really feel like it wasn't terrible service in any way, but it wasn't like, hey, we picked up on the first ring, we know here. Like, it wasn't any of that. And now I do think a lot of this is probably targeted more so in their investment in Merrill Lynch stuff, but again, I'm only here for the credit cards. So if you're the type of person who you're not going to shop around at all for any of your banking services, or you're not going to bank at multiple banks, then yeah, it's probably fine. You're getting better pricing than the average customer there. Is it amazing? Probably not, but you weren't going to do the work anyways. So whatever. And that's one thing that U.S. Bank did not have in their program. They just had the credit card being the perk. Again, not that it Smartly really matters too much for people anymore, but even if you were considering moving $100,000 to Smartly in the checking account because you just didn't care, well, if you were picking between the two, well, U.S. Bank of America at least offers you better pricing on other products, as where U.S. Bank is really only the credit card. However, I do think Bank of America is lacking. The user interface, the app is getting better. I don't love the online portal. I think it sucks. Merrill Lynch just looks old and terrible, but again, I'm just, you know, set it and forget it type stuff. Index fund, so I don't really check too much. You can set it an automatic reinvest. You really have to log in once a year, to do your contribution, which I last contribution I made to US Bank anyway. So, you can live with that. Their biggest miss, I really think, is two things. One, that they should have a higher yield savings product. That was probably one of the appealing parts to the average person at U.S. Bank before they killed it, because U.S. Bank had the Smartly Savings, which is like at a 3.5, 3.6, something like that at the time of taping, which again you can find better, but it was competitively priced for like Ally and Discover and like Capital One, who were like still banks, so people feel comfortable with them. They weren't, like redneck bank, which a lot of people aren't going to find or know about or feel comfortable with, where you can get a higher rate, let alone the fintech deals like Robinhood, things like that. Bank of America should have a higher yield product like that to serve this program. Will they do it? No, they're never going to do it. This program's been around for like 10 or so years. They're not going to add one. I do think the credit card benefits could be buffed a little bit because their intro credit cards, the base credit cards, are not competitive at all. 1.5% on the unlimited cash. 3% on the customized cash isn't terrible, but again, the category cards you're competing with are the Freedom Unlimited, to Discover It, the City Customized, Custom Cash, the Cash Plus card. Those cards all do 5% on their category. You do not. Even the Custom Cash Plus has the same $2,500 cap, I want to say. So you should buff their cards a little bit at the higher end. I think it should be 5. I think it should be 6% your top end, and the unlimited cash should be 3%, especially with, Robinhood making a 3% card. And Robinhood kind of competing for your same customer base. So, hey, no, bring us your retirement over here, be a part of Robinhood Gold. But at the same time, having seen Smartly just fail under a year, under like 6 months, on Bank of America, there's no way I'm doing that now. They just prove that I don't have to do anything. I might lose some of the newer age customers to Robinhood, sure, but was that really who I was after to begin with? So no, I don't think they're ever going to buff it or change it, anything like that. And the fact of the matter is, they don't really have to, because you can't really get better anywhere else if you're looking to pad your 5% lineup. So, to answer the question in the beginning, if you're looking for a relationship bank, then sure, this could work. I wouldn't act to making myself feel like I'm super special because I'm with them and I'm platinum honors. Like, that's not. But then you're not going to find that anywhere, any bank. Maybe if you're like private client type level, sure, but if you get to the diamond level, perhaps. But even then, that's more so on the investing side, I think, than just day-to-day interactions with the bank. If you're looking for the best credit card rewards and to buff your setup, then look, you got to put your money somewhere. So I would definitely consider it. Is it for everyone? No. Is it vital that everyone does it? Also, no. But if you're like me and you want to squeeze out maximum rewards and easy to earn money, then yeah. I would also say it's probably for cashback people. They do have travel cards and a travel portal. I've never looked at Bank of America as a travel setup. I know, people do like their blue travel card because it's no annual fee. You can get it up to like the 2.67 range if you're platinum honors again, and there's no foreign transaction fee. So if you're looking for no frills travel, then yeah, I mean it works as a travel card, sure, but I'd rather just spend the $95, I guess, and get the Citi Strata card or the Wells Fargo Autograph Journey, or even the regular autograph card, honestly. But you could do it. But for me, I think it's a cashback setup. So all that to say, yes, I'm glad I'm still in it. I'm going to stay in it and keep running both programs until I eventually Smartly kicks us all out. If you're considering Bank of America, I think it's worth it because there's really nothing else like it. But if you didn't want to do it, I also don't think you're missing out on a ton, because really you're talking about missing out on 2 or 3 cards potentially, and it just really comes down to how much do you care. And you got to understand that I don't see Bank of America improving in any way ever, because I just don't think they need to. It's not bad. It's just it is what it is. So anyways, there's been my experience with Bank of America in year number 2. Let me know what you think down below if you are considering it, or you even care. Now that Smartly is dead, what do you think the next move is? Love to get your thoughts on that. But of course, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below if you found it particularly interesting. Consider subscribing to the channel, as we're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, which is the channel's blog, always linked down below for you, and on the channel homepage. We have the latest news stories, plenty of bank promotions, some from Bank of America, and credit card offers. We have a customized cash over there if you want to get started. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.